tuned in to your dose of positivity. I am Marlene Motivates, and as I always say, just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
And to get further encouragement and support, join my channel membership. Hey everybody, it's Marlene of Marlene Motivates, your channel for inspiration, positivity, life lessons, and mindset shifting. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. I love to have you as part of the Motivators family. So everybody, per your request, it was a split poll. It was not an it was 30, I think 33% each. So no deal breaking. So I didn't know what to do. So I'm going to do a little bit of each. I'm going to give you a little bit of dose of positivity. We're going to do a little bit of chit chatting. And also I'm going to put the link in the chat. So everybody wins, right? And happy Friday to everybody. I'm so good to see you all. I hope you all are doing great. Hey, Miss V. Welcome. How are you doing? Welcome in. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, so I'm going to start off with that. I'm going to start off with the dose of positivity. You know, we all need some motivation, right? So I didn't get a chance to put up the banner about communication because I was waiting for a tiebreaker, but there was none. So we're going to go into this. The topic that I came off the top of my head was why some people don't communicate. And we know that communication is the key to everything. If we don't talk about what we feel, if we don't talk about, how we're feeling, we go by assumptions and we make judgments. It just never turns out well. Yes, happy Friday. Happy Friday. The mouse key. Yes, I know. I understand, Miss B. Yeah, and when we don't communicate, it always brings about problems, right? We always find problems when we don't talk about how we feel. And I understand that sometimes we want to tell people something and we really don't feel comfortable because they're disrespectful or rude or something. Or we know when we say what we want to say, it's going to go on deaf ears. We know that they're not going to listen to us. They're not going to understand. They won't appreciate. They're not going to take the message, all of that. So I'm going to talk about some of the reasons why I feel that people don't communicate. And ultimately, out of these 6 things that I came up with is that people are just scared. They're scared to open up and to share how they feel because of various reasons. So the number one thing is that people don't communicate because they're scared of sharing. When you tell somebody how you really feel, especially if you open up and you break down your barriers and open up and tell somebody what you're thinking about, and then it goes right over their head. They don't listen to it, or they'll say something. The worst thing, if you're trying to open up to somebody and they say, "Oh, you're always in your feelings," or something, and you immediately shut down. Hey, Mary Ann. Happy Friday. Good to see you. I hope everybody's doing great. Welcome in, and I hope you're doing well. Um, that's one of the things that, like, I struggle with when I try to open up and tell somebody how I'm feeling. I'm trying to communicate to them. I feel this, 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 and this. And then you just get like that deer in headlights look, or they look like they're bored, or like, when are you going to stop talking? That can be very annoying, and it can cause you to not want to tell that person anything in the future. Yes, happy Friday. Thank you so much. It's the weekend, everybody. It's the weekend. It's the weekend. Anybody have any exciting plans? What are y'all up to? So, another reason why people don't communicate is because they're scared of confrontation. I know that used to be me a while ago. I did not want to confront something. Like if I was having an issue with somebody and I didn't like something they were doing, I didn't want to confront the issue because I didn't want to hear what they had to say. It's like I almost wanted to control their reaction. And because I knew if the reaction wasn't going to be what I wanted, I was just like, it's not worth it. But we must, if it's a person that you're going to deal with on a regular basis, you have to set some boundaries. You have to set a foundation and let other people know, like, this is how I feel. This is how I deserve to be treated. And are you going to respect how I feel or not? When we put um, our our boundaries out there and we tell people, this is how I feel, this is what I'm going through, blah blah blah, then they can't say that they didn't know how you felt. Hey, puzzle pieces. Hi, Nexie. Welcome. Good to see you. Happy Friday to you. I hope you're doing great. We got a member in the house. Of course, all members drop exclamation point member to have your link dropped. Hey, Butter Roll Boutique. How are you? Welcome. Happy Friday. Welcome in. And everybody who's in the chat, I would appreciate if you guys could hit the like. It's very good for my analytics and it shows support for me as a content creator. Very much appreciated. So, how many of you all are scared of confrontation? I definitely was. Right now, I'm not, because I've worked on myself and I know that no matter what somebody says, once I communicate how I'm feeling, then I'm okay. We can't base voicing how we feel, the things that we want. We can't let that stop us from saying what we want to say because of how they may take it. Thank you so much, Mary Ann. Very much appreciated. Yeah, and that was an issue for me. I used to always go by how a person would take it and not what I would feel. Like, by not voicing how we feel, by not communicating, we set up ourselves for more disrespect, more boundaries being crossed. We have to set those boundaries. We have to put some rules out there, like, this is what I want, this is what I need, so that you can get what you want. The more you put out there what you want, is the more likely you are to get it. Not saying that all the time we're going to get what we want, but they can't say we didn't tell them how we feel. We must communicate, whether it's easy for us, whether it's hard. Put in the work. It's worth it to have healthy relationships. Because I hear all the time when people will say, I don't want to communicate. I don't want to talk about things, whether it be male, whether it be how you were raised. You were raised knowing how to even, go there and say, I feel this and this. But I always like to start off by saying things like, without shutting down the walls of other people. When you say X, Y, and Z, this is how it makes me feel. When you do that, you show respect for the person that you're talking to, but also you show that it's about me and it's not about them. Okay. And in that way, we allow the respect to be mutual and a person does not feel attacked. But if you go into it, you always do this and you always do that and you're always, that never gets taken well. No, nobody likes to hear that they always or they do X, Y, and Z. But if you tell somebody when they say something to you, or when you treat me this way, this is how it makes me feel, you're putting it back on you and not on them. So that's a healthy way to communicate. We have to learn healthier ways to communicate. And I understand not all the time we were raised in that way to even know how to do that. But as adults, we have to do better, right? Motivators, we have to do better. We have to improve. We have to be better than our parents, our siblings, other people in our life. It has to start with us. If we want to get great things, we have to do great things, okay? And another reason why people don't communicate is because they're scared to tell others what they need to do. So they have a problem with the call to action, you know, um, because I need to tell, this is what you need to do for me in order for me to feel heard and seen and feel loved, or whatever it is, or on the job. I need for you to do this in order for the job to be done effectively. It depends on who you're communicating. Is it business? Is it personal? Is it family? Is it friendships? There's different ways to communicate. There's professional communication, and then there's just the casual communication. And we have to know how to approach the situation, how to talk to people. It can be a little sticky sometimes, but we can do it, but we need to tell people, this is what I need for you to do, so that we don't get stepped on, that we don't become a doormat to other people. We can't let other people's reactions stop us from not having the things that we need. When we know our worth, we know our worth, we know our power, we know what we're about, we know how important we are. So we can't let other people treat us less than or allow people to disrespect us. If they want to do that to other people, then let them do that to other people, but never let anybody treat you disrespectfully. That's why communication is so important. Tell people when they've crossed the line. Tell people when they're being disrespectful. They may not like it. Maybe they won't deal with you anymore, but that's good for us. Then we don't have to deal with their drama and their foolishness, right? We don't need that. We don't need the drama and the foolishness in our life, and we don't have to take it. For a long time, I always thought I didn't want to I didn't want to stir the pot. I didn't want to be the person to hurt people's feelings. But in the meantime, they were hurting mine. We feel a lot of times that I don't want to do this, or that, but we allow other people to treat us badly. We allow other people to disrespect us, and it doesn't work that way. So, point number 4, why some people don't communicate is they're scared of asking for help. For a long time, I used to be afraid to ask somebody to help me. But when we do that, we're stopping our personal growth. We're stopping from whatever we need to do in our life. When we ask somebody, and it's not just asking anybody for help, it's asking the right people. That's another key to communication. It's you have to know who to talk to, who to share your hopes and dreams with, who will understand you, who is the right person in business. There's some people that it's not even worth it. And then there's people that that you're going to have to deal with. And I'm going to say, we're going to have to set some boundaries. We're going to have to talk so that I can feel respected, because right now I don't feel respected. When you do that, you are setting things up to let people know this is how you're going to treat me, and this is what I'm going to take, and this is what I won't. All right. So don't be scared to ask for help. It's not easy sometimes. It's not easy. And I will tell you why in a little bit. Hey, Tracy Anderson, welcome. How are you doing? Appreciate you being here. I got a member in the house. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you everybody for the likes. And if you have not subscribed already, or you are new, join my channel membership. I'd love to have you. So we can't be scared of for asking for the things that we need. Don't be scared to ask for help from the right people. You know, if you see somebody is doing something that you need, don't be afraid to ask. Hey, do you mind if I ask for your help? How did you do that? And maybe sometimes you may have to pay for those services, because people just aren't going to give away things. And it's well worth it. You have to pay for people's time, and you have to pay for people's knowledge. All right. So we're not going to take advantage of other people, just like we don't want to be taken advantage of. We shouldn't take advantage of other people. And I see that a lot of times in families, that we will expect our families to bend over backwards for us, but do we do the same thing for them? And the same thing with friendships. Are we putting out there and getting back the things that we need? If not, we need to question why not. Why not? Hey, the word, welcome. Good to see you. Happy Friday. Got a member and a moderator in the house. Appreciate your support, word. I hope you're doing great, and happy Friday. Yes, we can't be afraid to ask for help. And there's a reason why a lot of times we're afraid to ask for help. We think that we're going to seem stupid, right? We think we're going to seem stupid, but the only dumb questions are the ones that we don't ask. If we don't know how to do something, we don't understand how to do something, and then we just sit on it and say, well, I don't know how to do it, so I'm just going to ignore it. No, do some research. There's a whole internet out here. There's great mentors that you can have. Ask questions from the right people, not just people who are, that don't have it together. We don't just want to ask anybody for help. We want to ask the right people for help. All right, everybody. So let's go into point number 5, why people don't communicate. Sometimes people don't communicate because they just don't know how. I can say that was also the case for me too. I didn't communicate because I didn't know about healthy communication. For me, communication was yelling and screaming, very unhealthy, very toxic, very triggering, and that's not the way. Even if you were raised a certain way, even if other people around you do the same thing, it does not make it okay. Just because something has been done for a long time, when you recognize this is not good, you have to make steps to make it better. You have to make steps to improve it. You don't want to be known as the angry person, the bitter person, the person who never knows how to, talk to somebody without an outburst. If we are doing that, we have to get to the source. Why do I talk this way? All right. Other people don't like it. It makes other people shut down. So when we talk to somebody, we show that we respect them. And when we communicate, this is another important thing. When we communicate, we speak some, and then we also let the other person, have their say too. Because I've had conversations, and the one person said, hey, I want for us to have a conversation, and they do all the talking, and you just sit there like, okay, when is it going to be my turn to say what I want to say? So communication is back and forth. You say some things, then you listen, and then you say some things. But that's healthy communication. A lot of us weren't raised with that. I didn't think that was something important. It was always when one person talked, then the other person would talk over the other, and then it was screaming and, talking down to the other person, some really nasty and ugly words said about the other person. You don't have to put somebody down to get your point across. You don't have to call names. All of that is a reflection of who we are on the inside. When we communicate, it shows what we think about ourselves. Will you respect another person? Will you will you let another person have an opinion that is different from yours? That's something that I had a hard time dealing with. That I only thought that a person, as long as they agreed with me, then it was okay. But the moment that a person didn't agree with me, they had a different opinion of than that of mine, that I was like, this is a problem. But it's not. Everybody's different. We're all adults. We all have been through different things, but we can communicate in an effective way. We can let people have their own opinion. We can let other people have thoughts that's different from ours. That's how we grow. That's how we learn things. That's how we become more mature. It's also about, not controlling how another person feels. uh I don't know what you're saying, um Miss Tracy. um hey, Six Bows, how are you? Welcome. Good to see you. Happy Friday. um it's very important uh to just saying I don't know is not good enough. Just saying you don't understand how to do something does not make it okay. It doesn't. It doesn't make it okay to just say I don't know how to do something. I don't know how to communicate. I don't understand. That's not good enough. It's not good enough to say this is how I was raised. It's not good enough to say I'm in a bad mood, so I'm going to scream and yell at everybody else, and then later on I'll just apologize and make it all right. If you are known to be a loose cannon to other people and don't know how to control your emotions, other people aren't going to want to deal with you. And you got to understand, get to the root. Why do I scream all the time? Why am I so angry? It may be more issues than other people. I sent you to the store. I don't understand what you're saying, Miss Tracy. So this is the last point that I want to share with you guys, and then I'm going to put the link in the chat, and we're going to do some chit chatting to see how you guys are, because this is Chit Chat Fridays. So why some people don't communicate is their ego. You know, the ego gets in the way. Their ego gets in the way, and I'm telling you guys that I definitely had a problem with my ego. Your ego can get in the way of a lot of things. Your ego can get in the way of healthy relationships, from having the things that you want. Um, it's just no. It's not good enough. It's not good enough to just say, I want what I want. As an adult, we have to learn humility. You know, that the things that I used to do, if it's not a good thing, we have to say, this isn't good. I need to do some work on the inside of me. My children are not allowed to say, I don't know. They will get in so much trouble if I ask them a question and they say, I don't know. Yeah, you need to know why. You need to get to the source of why. Get the knowledge, do something about it. The ball is always in our court. But the whole thing about communication and not wanting to communicate, I used to run into that a lot when it came to some of the males in my family. It was a major problem because let's just be honest. When Men, when boys are born, it's always boys never can voice, how they feel. It's looked at as a male is weak. And a girl, they give them the opposite excuse. They can scream, cry, have meltdowns, do anything they want, and they're given a pass. I can say that was the case for me. I could do anything, I could scream, I could do everything wrong, and they just say, she's a girl, she's emotional. But if my brother did the same thing, he was gonna get disciplined, toys were gonna get taken away. He couldn't have the same emotions as me, and I grew up already recognizing that there was a double standard. So there's no pass for anybody. And that's where emotional intelligence comes in. There are places that it's safe for you to, voice your emotions, and this is how I feel, because you can't share your emotions with everybody. Some people will make fun of you, take you for granted, use that as a weakness, and you know do things to hurt you because you allowed yourself to be vulnerable. So you have to be careful when it comes to expressing your emotions to everyone. But it's not good to say, just because I was raised this way, I was raised to not communicate, I was raised to not show emotion, so I won't do it, or I don't like how emotions make me feel, or I don't know how to communicate. All of those things as excuses are not good enough. So don't let your ego get in the way, everybody. Communicate, you know, find some tools. One of the things that I started to do when I became, an adult, and I recognized that I wasn't doing the right thing, I had to be honest with myself and say, you are yelling and there's no reason to yell. Why are you yelling? Why are you mad? Okay. And find out why. And then, give yourself some time, give yourself some compassion, that it takes time to unlearn um, bad habits. It takes time, and I definitely had to learn that. Step back. You're a human. You've been doing this for a long time. You've been doing the wrong thing for a long time. It's not going to happen overnight. But I didn't make an excuse. I still said, even though I didn't know how to do it initially, I had to say that's not good enough, and I'm not going to make an excuse. I'm going to try anyways. All right. So I've come to the end of my topic right here, and I put the link in the chat for anybody who would like to come up and talk about, any communication issues that you had. Were you raised to communicate effectively, or do you struggle to communicate? It's up to you if you want to talk about that, or you just want to chit chat about something else. The link is in there for you to come up and get some motivator support. I'm here to support you in whatever you need to be, happy, happier, to work on your mindset, or whether it's your positivity or something that you're going through. It's a motivator support only on Fridays for you guys. And I'm going to do a little chit chat while I wait for someone to come up. Okay, so it's almost the end of the year, everybody. It's almost the end of the year. We're in August now. I can't believe it. We only have, what, September, October, November, December. We only got 4 more months left in the year. I just want to say to everybody, I hope that 2023 was amazing and you got to do some things that you wanted to do, but the year is not over. This is the time where you need to go back and look at your goals. What were some of the goals that you had at the beginning of the year? Were they good goals? Were you able to accomplish the things that you want to? Or did you start things and stop them? I definitely am proud of the progress that I have made. I've done a lot of great things. I've accomplished a lot of goals. What I like to call it, I've cut the fat. I've cut some toxic people out my life this year, and it has been very good for me mentally, emotionally, even my physical health. I'll tell y'all something that when you have certain people in your life and they're toxic, and they're using you, they're manipulating you, they don't make you feel good about yourself, it stops you from getting to your next level. It stopped me from going after my dreams because my head and my heart was tied up in, why do they do this to me? Why do they treat me? Why do I keep accepting them doing that to me? So I finally had the courage to cut one person off, and they can't come back. Um, that was, it's hard to say when you actually do love somebody and they hurt you. It's hard to cut people off that you love, but for you to grow and for you to do the things that you want to do, they can't stay around. You know, they can't stay around. Some people, you have to cut ties with them so that you can get things that you want. And I found that as soon as I cut that person off, like I felt like I stopped getting like these headaches, and I was able to sleep better. Some doors started opening. I started getting some new friendships. My business started succeeding. So I'm telling you that if you allow yourself to get away from some toxic people, cut ties with them, I'm telling you, you're going to feel better and everything starts to improve. You know, I even started noticing, like walking throughout the day, like I started smiling because you have relief from them. Like you're not stressed out from these people, you know, bring stress into your life, making you feel miserable. Always, you know, those people who are always with the drama. Yeah, that type of person. And it was getting to me because this was a family member, and it's a little more difficult to cut people who are family members off, but it's something that I had to do for my peace. I had to do it for my peace, because it was like I didn't even know that they were the source of the headaches. I was getting headaches all the time because I didn't even know that they were stressing me out. You know, we don't even understand the impact of certain people until they're not in our life, until you don't have to deal with their phone calls and always calling and telling you everything in the world is going wrong. They never say anything is positive in their life. They're never working on their self. There's never any accountability. I was like, I can't do this anymore. You know, everybody has problems. I can't even say that it's not. But the part that gets to me is when people act like they never do anything wrong. You know, they never did anything to add to it. It's always somebody else did something to them and they never did anything. Or they're always down on their luck. They're always down on their luck. And I can't do that. You know, if a person is like, you know, this happened and it happened because I did this, this, and this, then I can get with it because you're being transparent, you're being honest, you're putting all the cards on the table. But when a person acts like they didn't do anything and they blame everybody, including me, and I'm like, you're the one that did wrong. And they're like, it's like, you know, you're not perfect either. Of course, I know I'm not perfect, but I don't like when a person projects their, what is it called? They project all of their issues, all the things that they have done onto you, and that gets on my nerves. So I had to cut the fat. I'm feeling lighter. I'm feeling freer. My headaches are gone, and I have more peace. I'm not getting all those crazy phone calls, always asking for a bailout. Hey, Rudy, how are you? Welcome. Happy Friday to you. That's one thing that I had to learn myself, that We can't, we can't, we can't make another person do right. And for, I think it's been over 7 years. Yeah, because my dad will have passed 7 years in October. So it's been 7 years since I've been dealing with the same issue, and they still are acting like it just happened. So I can't, you know. After a certain period of time, we have to say, this person will never change. This person will never do right. This person does not appreciate me. This person does never thinks about my feelings and my needs. They never check in on me. So if you're having people like that in your life, don't think that they're going to change for you. Just because you support them, it doesn't mean they're going to support you. So I said, I'm not going into my 2024 with any more toxic relationships, any more toxic people. The moment I see somebody is using me, the moment that I see that that I'm not being supported, and I don't mean that I expect somebody, I give you this much and I expect you to give me back the same. No, because everybody can't give the same amount of things, and there's more than one way to support. There's emotional support, there's financial support, it's spiritual support, it's physical support. So all of that, and when it got to the point where I recognized I wasn't getting supported on any level, even if you can't give to somebody financially, you can always give to somebody and give them emotional support. You can give them mental support. You can give people spiritual support. But when somebody is just always constantly pulling from you, taking from you, and you never get back anything, we have to look at that. Like, I had to look at myself in the mirror and say, you're accepting toxic behavior. And if you don't cut it off, they never will. Somebody is always going to take from you until you say that it ends now. I'm not doing this anymore. So that's what I had to do. I was like, it was very hard for me. I had to call them up and tell them, I was like, I love you, and I want the best for you, but also I want the best for me. And I can't want the best for me and enable you in your toxic behaviors. So, I love you, but I have to love you at a distance. That part. hmm and they got upset and said, "Oh yeah, I'm always here for you." Yeah, you're always here for me. How? And I never got a response. I never got a response back. When somebody says they're here for you, tell me, show me what is the action. When do you call me? When do you check on me? When have you said, are you okay? Do you need something? Are you eating? Are you sleeping? How's your health? Nothing. Zero. I was like, nothing. I was like, zero. Well, tell me, if I'm mistaken, correct me. How are you there for me? Over 2 weeks later, no response to that. Show me how, if I'm wrong, I can always be corrected. I'm a person that if I do something wrong, I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong. Oh, I'm sorry, you have? Well, tell me how you are supporting me. Maybe I'm mistaken. Nothing. So those type of relationships, there's no fixing them. There's no helping them. There's no none of that. So I had to learn to cut off people who were just there just so that they can gain information from me, gain some support. The ones that will try to understand me. Hold on a second, guys. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourself. Sorry, everybody. I've been waiting on that package. I didn't want them to leave without it. Yes, yes. Show me. Show by your actions. Show by your actions what you're really about and not just by saying stuff. Don't just say. And that's a really a way that I feel like a relationship can end really quickly by someone saying that they're here for you and they love you, but they don't do anything to prove it. It has to be more than just saying it. I grew up that way. People would just use the word love so openly, like give that away and just say I love you. Okay, but how and how are you proving that you love has to be proved. It's in the action. And I'm not doing any of that one-sided relationships anymore. I'm done with it. I put up with that for so many years, my entire childhood, and feeling like inadequate, feeling like I have to do something. I have to be there for them. I must, because they're my family, or because we've been friends for a long time, or because we're in a relationship. No, all relationships need to be, what is it called? To be worked on. It's not just saying you're with somebody. It's not just saying somebody is your friend. It's what do you do to prove your friendship? What do you do to prove your love? What do you do to prove that it's worth me staying around? Oh, hi, Ari. Welcome. I think it's your first time here. Appreciate you being here. And if you're new, I would love for you to subscribe. And happy Friday to you. And I put the link in the chat. Anybody who would like to share some insight or just want to hang out for a little bit. Oh, yeah. Well, I know I'm not inadequate in that, but I'm saying I'm human. Some people in your life can make you feel that way. And I had to, when I started feeling like inadequate, when somebody starts making you feel less than, when you're trying to tell somebody how you feel or the things that you're going through, and it's like they're not listening to you, they don't try to understand you, they don't support you, there's no compassion for you, that it's only about them, that doesn't work. And it's not going to work. And I say the same thing for you. If you have people in your life who you feel don't try to understand you, don't try to support you, they never listen to you, it won't change. I tried it. I'm telling you, from like over 20 years, I've been trying to change that dynamic. I've been trying to get people to give me back what I give to them. Yeah. Yeah. You understand? Hey, Tamika Davis, welcome. We got a moderator in the house. Happy Friday to you. Good to see you, Tamika. I hope you're having a great Friday. Yeah, that's one thing that I had to learn for myself. Like, I'm not going into the new year with I'm not going into the new year with having people who don't appreciate me. I'm also, one of the things that I learned recently is I'm not going to go into this year with this new year with people who are trying to ride on my coattails. That's another thing. Like, only if I do something, you try to support me. And I was like, it doesn't work that way. Hey, Sirius, how are you? Welcome. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. We got a mod in the house. I hope you're having a great Friday. I put the link in the chat, everybody. And that's what I had to learn. That's what I had to learn for myself. Like, I'm not going to let people use me. I'm not, and oh yeah, this is the recent thing. Like 2 or 3 days ago, I don't know if it was an epiphany. I don't know if it was my bright moment, my the light bulb went on in my head. I had to talk to myself and tell myself to stop devaluing my potential, my worth, um, because of what I do offline in my business. I feel like I undercharge for my talent, and I always felt like, I'm just a human. I or I'm trying to help other people, so I'm just gonna pay them what I think people can afford. And I had to talk to myself and encourage myself that I have a lot of talent. I've worked on myself. I fix things in my life. I'm in a good space in my life. Like, I've removed toxicity. People need to pay what I'm worth. So whoever needs to hear this message too, don't undercharge for your talents. Um, don't let family, friends, other people, even whatever you're doing in your business, don't undercharge just because you're trying to make money. And that's hard for me because I'm not trying to be rich, but I'm also not going to say what I give, the value of what I share with people is less. Because I'm putting in some work, and I'll tell you all in, those who are members, some of the things that I have going on, some of the things that I'm working. So it's not that I'm just on this app, um, um, just giving out things that I have been through. I'm gaining knowledge. I just went to a conference the other day, helping me to improve my skills as a motivator. So, and I pay for those things. So I'm just like, no, I can't keep undercharging. And this is one of the reasons why I'm big on my membership, why I've increased some levels on my membership as well. Uh, I'm not going to undercharge anymore. So, I understand that not everybody will be able to pay for things, but also I can't give away everything free. I have to value myself, you know, I have to value myself. All right. And I want to say that to whoever needs to hear this message. Don't devalue yourself because of other people. All right? Don't do it. If you don't value yourself, if you don't know your worth and you start undercharging, they're going to get used to that. Don't do that. I love this topic, thing 1 and 2, tripping, but communication can be a cheat code. Communication can open doors if done properly or close doors if done wrong. Exactly. Yeah. I love this topic too. And I feel some type of way about, let me say it the right way. I feel some type of way when I try to open up and tell somebody how I feel. See, I'm not a person that will just pour out the things that I have going on. I used to be that person, like, you do this, and go yada 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 and go all the way to 10 on them. But I've matured. I've worked on myself. I've gained emotional intelligence. I know how to communicate, and I also know how to take ownership of when I do things wrong too. So I know how to apologize and say I'm sorry. But also, I know how to identify when somebody is playing games with me. And I say the same thing to you all too. Don't let other people pull a wool over your eyes. Don't be a doormat to other people. You know, don't let you being a kind person. Don't let the talent that you have be played on, be used. Just because another person may not have the funds, don't let anybody tell you that you're charging too much for your talent. Never do that. Let people pay. They need to pay. And I feel like that's what my spirit told me a few days ago. So that's one of the reasons why I only do my lives for about an hour, because those who want to get the real heavy things, the deeper things that really want to get the support, they're going to join my membership. Um, and they're going to join the higher level of my membership too, to get the real support, because that's where my real support starts with the 499, the 1499, and the highest support is my 34.99, and that one is for a reason, because of the level that I'm about to get to, because Marlene's working on some great things and some big things that those who are on that level will get to be there with, my elevation. When I get to my elevation and I start doing what I feel like I'm called to do, they'll be able to, get the backstage. Like they'll be able to see the behind the scenes when I'm doing certain things, and meet certain people that I'm meeting. So I'm excited. I'm nervous and I'm scared, to for my new ventures, what I'm working on, but I'm not letting that fear hold me back anymore. So it's all of that. I can't be on here motivating you and saying, push past your fear. Don't be scared. Don't worry. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm holding myself accountable. I'm taking steps. I'm meeting with people. I'm putting in the work. So, yeah. So, those of you who really want to see, the behind the scenes, as soon as that starts, which should be very soon if things are working according to the plan, of my what is their name? My mentor and my my assistant, what they're working on for me, um, then I should be able to show you guys some things behind the scenes, and it's only going to be for those who are on that level. Trust me, it will be worth it. Thank you so much, Marianne. You know, when somebody says that I'm a good motivational speaker, I kind of feel some type of way sometimes, but I'm learning to accept my flowers and to just say thank you, because that's what I want to be known as. That's what I want my legacy to be. And I feel my father whenever before I come on here, I can feel my father with me. Yeah. And I always told him what I wanted to do right before he got sick. I was like, Daddy, I want to do this and that. And he was like, you're very driven. And I know that anything you put your mind to, you can do. But it took me a long time to convince myself to actually believe it. I don't know if it makes sense for you all, but for a long time, I knew that I could do this, but I didn't believe it. But I was just like, I want to do it. I know I can do it, but I didn't want to accept it. I didn't want to step into it and actually do it, actually put in the work, actually, reach out to people, actually get some education, and do what's necessary in order to be that. So, while I'm encouraging you all, I'm encouraging myself. Don't just say you want to do things, put in the work and actually do it. It's easy to say, yes, Marianne, and that's what I'm doing. I'm being my own friend, and my own friend be in my head, holding me accountable. Let's do this, Marlene. You've been wanting to do this. Let's step into it and show people, because I feel like I have a lot of people to take somewhere, to take to a new level, and it's exciting. I have like butterflies in my stomach and stuff, for the new things that I'm working on, and I'm excited. I'm excited, and I feel like I'm so uncomfortable right now. But I think when you're so uncomfortable about what you're doing, you're exactly where you need to be. Anytime you're too still, anytime you're not getting up and being driven and pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and trying something new and meeting new people, If you're not doing that, you're not where you need to be. If you're not challenging yourself, um, elevating your thinking, learning some new things, you know, trying something new. And I will say, whatever talent that you all have, and each of us has talents, work on your talent. Don't just say, I do this. How well do you do it? Improve on your quality, and that's what I'm doing behind the scenes. So when y'all don't see me on here, I'm working behind the scenes on this to make this my actual life. But I'm also working on, you know, walking away from my the what is it called, 9 to 5, because I don't want to be a 9 to 5 person anymore. I was like, this isn't me. I understand, you have to do things, you have to crawl before you can walk or run or fly. So I'm just being honest with you all that I can't wait. Hopefully, in the next few months, I can just say I am 100% self employed, 100% walking in the manifestation of my light. I'm 100% using my talent. I'm firing on all cylinders because that's what my mentor, my coach is working with me on, like firing on all cylinders. And for me, I'm not telling anybody else what to do. For me, when I work for somebody else, I'm working on their goals and not on mine. So I'm trying to be out there selling out shows to thousands of people. I can see myself. I've already know the outfit that I'll be wearing. I already know where I want my first show to be at, just so I can be at peace, because I promised my father where I would put my first show, and those of you who are on the highest level will be there. You all will get to see me live doing it. So yeah, I'm excited about that part. And I got a few other things behind the scenes. But of course, your girl's over here walking in silence, because when you do things, you don't tell everybody what you're doing. But I'll give you guys a little touch, a little taste of what Marlene is working on, because I said, this is Marlene Motivates. I can't just be motivating you. I have to motivate myself too. Yeah, all of that. I was hoping somebody would come up today and hang out and talk with me, but maybe you guys are busy doing some things. So I just wanted to chit chat with you guys, let you guys know to keep going, to go after your dreams and your hopes. Don't let anyone stop you from being great. Don't undercharge for your talent. Cut off, cut off, cut off, cut off, and block anything, anyone that stops you from being great. Anybody who is um, slowing down your progress, like whether on this app, if you're a content creator, or in real life, if you have a business, or if your family member is disrupting your peace, all of it all ties in. Don't let anybody stop you, slow you down, or undercharge your value. Okay. And I'm saying that to you, and I'm also saying it to myself. While I say this, I'm encouraging myself. I'm causing myself to be accountable. I'm causing myself to say, you're going to be your own friend. You're going to go after your dreams. You're going to go after your hopes. But it takes the action, it takes the work, it takes supporting yourself. It takes me patting myself on the back and saying, okay, you did this. Now let's do this. Never slow down, never stop. You can be triumphant. You can be victorious. You are somebody. And if you don't do it for yourself, nobody is going to. If you don't elevate what you believe, if you don't communicate what you want, if you don't set boundaries, nobody else will. We have to ask for the things that we want and not be afraid And don't be scared of what don't be scared of another person's reaction. Don't let their reaction, how you make them feel when you say what you need, don't let that stop you from not saying it. If you don't feel heard or seen or valued or appreciated, you need to tell those people that. And if they can't give that to you, you need to pull back from them, because you never should feel unappreciated, um, not supported, unloved, disrespected. No, life is too short. You shouldn't spend not one day should you spend not going after what you want, not feeling good about yourself, not feeling loved, not walking around with a smile on your face. Every day you should have a smile on your face. Every day you should have peace. Every day you should have joy. Every day. And if you don't, ask yourself, why not? That's what I had. I had to get to that fork in the road to ask myself that same question. I'm not getting what I want. Why? Because I'm putting up with too much foolishness. And it's time for me to put an end to it. And I say the same thing to you, elevate yourself. Don't settle for less than you deserve. You deserve way more. You deserve way more, but to get way more, you got to put in the action. You got to set those boundaries. You got to be your own friend. You have to respect yourself. You have to think about your mind. Don't let other people's lack of mental health get you off track. Okay? Don't let other people's lack of whatever get you stuck in their cycle of their downward spiral. See, because we're going up, right? We're going up, we're elevating, we're more positive, we're stronger, we're accountable, we own our mess. We say we apologize, we communicate, hey, you're not giving me what I need. You're not giving me what I deserve. You're being disrespectful, and I'm not going to take it. See, we're strong over here. We're not going to be a doormat. Mm-mm. We're not going to be a doormat. We're going to make people, you're going to respect me or you can leave. Because I'm telling you, you don't need that. You don't need anybody in your life that doesn't respect you. Okay? Especially when you tell people how you feel. Hey, LaTanya. Especially when you tell people how you feel and they still do whatever they want. That means that they really don't value you. They really don't care about you. They're using you. All right? And if somebody is using you now, don't think that will change. They're going to use you until you stop letting them use you. Oh, we have Nexie in the house.
Hey Marlene, hi Chad. Whew, I was
Hey.
rushing. I was trying to finish everything that I was doing so that I could come up, and I was like, hurry up, or she's gonna
Yeah,
leave.
you just made it.
I'm listening to you actually. I was doing rounds and I was like trying to do it as fast as I could, and I'm listening, and I'm like, I'm gonna time it so that I can, I can go up and talk to Marlene for a little bit or whatever. But then another one, and then another patient, and then I'm like, oh my God, let me finish,
Yeah.
or she'll leave. So the topic today, communication, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think communication is important not only for family members and everything, but even at your workplace. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I think that the way you communicate, um, it should be um, it should be used everywhere in as you move, throughout your day in your life. Um, I recently left another hospital that I worked on because of that, because of the lack of communication. It made the environment that I was working on um, unsafe and toxic. And when you're when you're working in a place like that, even your performance is not, it's not 100% because you're carrying all that, the lack of communication. You're carrying all of that bitterness with you.
Yes.
So I had voiced, my concerns. I had voiced in a professional way, in a not so professional way. um, we've had meetings about it and everything, and I finally realized that even though I like the type of patients I had there, if the communication wasn't there, it was putting everything else that I was doing at risk. So, and the same goes in life, which is the point that I was gonna get to right now. Is I mean, that's why I said that, because I was gonna get to this point. Is that even with family members, or friends, if the communication is not there, I mean, both ways, not just on your part, but if it's not back and forth, then it's not healthy to keep people like that around you.
Um,
Because
so
I'm
so
sorry.
so so I wanted to ask you. You said that you had to walk away because of the communication issues. So, do you mind if I ask you? Was it they weren't communicating at all, or it wasn't effective?
Um, Both. I will say both, because they weren't communicating. I cannot say at all. They were communicating, but it wasn't effective.
Okay.
So because the communication, it was like being lost in translation. You know what I mean? Like, the we had meetings. We have meetings every morning, right? Whenever I work, I don't
Mhm.
work every morning, but let's say every time we work, we have meetings to go, throughout the day. What's expected, what's not expected, who is there, what we need to do, and also so that the whole team has supplies and everything that they need.
Right.
And the meeting went well, and yes, yes, of course, but then none of the topics, the not none, but 80% of the topics that were discussed were not met. So I will
Mm.
find myself running out of the rooms to get supplies.
Oh, wow.
That shouldn't be the case. I'm in the middle of something with a patient. You shouldn't be running out to get whatever you need. Or the settings. You need stitches or whatever. The settings were missing stuff. And it's like, okay, I cannot continue to do this. I gave them already, 6, 7 months, and this thing still continues to happen. So if they're not going to listen to me, that they have to be a little bit more on top of the employees, and make sure that they are following, protocol and the rules and everything. If they're not going to do that, that makes my job harder, and it puts my patient at risk.
Mhm.
So so that's what happened. It wasn't it was like getting lost in translation. They were saying yes, 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 of course, and they will say, there will be consequences if you don't follow, but then they won't follow, and there were no
They-
consequences.
Yeah.
So
I,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm so sorry that happened. And so now, is it better? Did you find a better place to be at?
Well, I'm a floater, that they call, because I'm already done with, my I already have my license and everything. I have 3 different hospitals that I work on.
Okay.
So I go, let's say, this hospital, I was only, at first I was going 4 times a month, which is once a week, right?
Mhm.
Then I liked it because, like I said, I like my patients. So I started going 8 times a month. But then as I started to work more there, I started to see more, because before I will say, you know what, maybe it's just today that I was here. Maybe they didn't do it because, they forgot the night before or whatever. But as I started going more often and going 2 days, back to back, because I only work like a 12-hour shift or whatever, or 14 hours, then I started seeing that it wasn't just when I was there, that day. It was an everyday thing. And I started hearing a lot of my other colleagues complaining about the same thing.
Oh, I
And
see.
then, Yeah, exactly. So then I started seeing that the people that were supposed to be managing all of this, they're lazy or scared, or I don't know what they are, but they're
They're
not.
afraid of confrontation.
There you go. Maybe that's what it is. I don't understand. But then I worked in other two hospitals that I love. Everything is in order. The patients are well taken care of. The team is amazing. We all work together. And like I said, that's important because you're there to save lives, right? You
Hmm.
need to have the best equipment, everything supplied, everything. You have to be 3 steps ahead of whatever emergency comes to you. And
Exactly.
I felt like I was catching up with all of the emergencies over there because nothing was getting done. But that being said, now I have two more places that I go to. So leaving that place, like I said, it hurt me because I was leaving the patients, and I really love that area.
Right.
Kids are amazing, but
Mhm.
they were trying to tell me, just give us time, and I said, no, I've given you 7 months, and nothing has changed. So how much more time do you want me to give you? 7 years, and we're still gonna be in the same place? So no.
Right.
And I wrote a letter to HR and everything, explaining, and I'm waiting for their response, see what happens. But I'm not going back. That's not going to happen because it's already toxic.
Right. Right. I'm so
And
so sorry.
oh, it. Thank you, Marlene, very much for that. And I'm still like because it just happened last week. It was my last week there, and I'm still like feeling sad because, like I said, because of the kids. But at the same time, I feel relief.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
what you were
Because
saying.
it messes you up mentally and emotionally.
Yeah, and it that your energy goes so low. Right now I feel relief. I feel more like energetic. I feel like, yes, I'm going to work, and not like, oh, I got to go to work over there again.
Hmm. Well, let me tell you about something that happened to me on one job that I had. I just had started the job, finished my orientation, and right when, like, it was okay. Say it was like no, it was a Friday. I got a text message saying everybody needs to pick up weekend shifts. Now, this when I started this job, the reason why I started it is because I only wanted Monday to Friday, because I already had a second weekend job. So when I got this message, I was like, what's going on? And they were like, everybody, and she put it in caps, everyone. And I knew that
Mm.
it was just meant to be for me, because everybody that she had CC'd already was doing weekends. What I think it was, they were complaining that I was the only one that wasn't doing weekends. So they were
Uh,
trying to force me to do something. And I said, you could go back and look on my application. I said Monday to Friday. And
yeah.
she said, well, everyone has to work weekends.
Then why did they hire you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said, this makes no sense. And I mean, at this point, she was screaming at me on the phone,
Oh,
screaming.
oh my God.
Yeah. And when I went and told HR, by that time, I was already crying and everything. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And that's not professional. That's not, and she was a manager. And for me, I felt
Wow.
like she should have been fired, and nobody did anything about it. It was like I was the one making trouble.
Yep.
So and
Again.
I was like, y'all don't deserve me.
And
I'm
that's
out of
true.
here. I'm out of here. I was like, this is not what I'm supposed to do, anyways. But like I love, because I work in healthcare. Everybody who doesn't know, so I'm just like, I love my patients and everything. And then I just in that 2 weeks of the training, I already had gotten used to some of the people.
Hmm.
So you feel sad that you have to walk away from that, but I'm not gonna take it, because I was like, It's only been 2 weeks and you already feel like you can yell at me. Mm-mm.
Wow. That's crazy, and it's
She got
sad
mad.
for
She
the
got mad
patients.
because I said I don't work weekends.
But sometimes those people that work around you, um, they're hypocritical. Instead of going to you, telling you in your face, or asking you why isn't that you're working weekends, they go above you and talk like, we all work weekends. Why isn't she working weekends? That's not fair for all of us. That's a bad example, because I've seen it happen before.
Oh, that's
And
crazy.
in management, or whoever your supervisor, instead of saying, what, she has another job on the weekends, and when she applied, I
Mhm.
hired her knowing that she couldn't work weekends because she was already working somewhere else. Instead of saying that, they do things like what just happened
Yeah.
to you.
Underhanded. I think it was
Hmm.
underhanded and sneaky.
Yes. Snaky. Yes, it was. It was very snaky. But people like that, like it was only 2 weeks for you, right? But
Hmm.
you were going to be working Monday to Friday, so that's a lot of days. I'm
Yeah.
glad that you got out of there before it got toxic.
I know. And I couldn't believe it because I first it was a text message and I was like, what are you talking about? And then I text right back, like, I don't work weekends. And she says, everybody has to work weekends. And that's when I called her. I was like, no, I don't. I don't work weekends. It's crazy. And that's when she started yelling. And I was
And,
like,
poor communication skills, and that goes a long way, which is why it's important for all of us to learn to communicate, to learn the right way to communicate, because we can all communicate, right? We can
yeah,
talk, blah, blah, but you have to learn the right way to do it. And for places like that, you don't expect, people to react that way, but then you start thinking, how is her communications at home? How does this person communicate with her family, or
yeah,
others? That must be chaotic or hellish.
yeah. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, get me out of here. And
Mm.
the snakish part about it, everybody, was that she waited until an hour before it was time for me to go home.
So she allowed you to work the entire day so that she
Yeah,
wouldn't be short staffed, and then she told you. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I've seen that happen. I've seen people get fired too. They know since the morning that this person is about to get fired, but they don't say anything until the person is about to go home.
Yep,
That's
yep,
snakish.
yeah. And I always say, at first I was upset and I'm crying, and then I was like, "What are you crying for?" I was like, "You don't even like working Monday to Friday." I was like, "Yeah, let's get out of here."
But I think you were crying probably because of the way she spoke to you.
Yeah, I'm not
Probably
used
that.
to that because all the jobs I have, all my managers have always been like wonderful to me and kind.
Hmm.
Like, I'm not used to that. I'm not used to disrespect. Someone just yelling. I was like, and one of my friends was saying she was yelling because she couldn't control you.
Nevertheless, that's so unprofessional.
Hmm.
Very unprofessional. But the thing is that a lot of places, low quality places, I should say, because a high quality place will not keep a person like that. Keep them because, they get things done. I think
Yeah, I
they
think
bring
so
the money,
too.
and they don't care about the employee or who these people hurt, as long as the money keeps on coming in.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. And that's one of the reasons why in all customer service, any job, if you're doing a job and you're dealing with people, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Dealing with
Communication.
people, yeah, you have to communicate. And I think that's the reason why it's always such a high turnover in customer service because people at the top don't understand that you can't just say, oh, they're just an employee, like treat them any kind of way. Like they don't matter anyways. We'll just replace them. And that's why you have a high turnover. It's actually more expensive to treat people that way than to keep people and respect them and give them raises and give them
Hmm.
vacation time so that they can feel good.
Yeah, and also, it shows you the owner of the place, because I'm sure this wasn't her first time doing this to an employee. I'm sure they have gotten other complaints, but the people that own the place are probably just like her.
Yep.
So a
And
place like
and
that is not gonna.
and guess what? Guess what, everybody? They said, oh, because the clientele that I had, these people were, I'm talking about people who are filthy rich, living on the beach, millionaires and billionaires. And they told us we cannot take any tips from them.
Oh, wow.
And I'm saying to myself, I was like, but you don't take tips? I was like, that's crazy. My friend was like, girl, get out of there. She said, run, take your purse. I was like, I am.
Yeah, it is exactly. But that, like it's unfortunate that happened to you, but it happens more often, than you think.
Yeah.
I've been in places they have never done that to me per se, but I was once, oof, that was a while back. I worked with a doctor, a dental, I think it was a dental surgeon that I was working with, and I was just doing receptionist, the front office, right?
Okay.
And I had this, I think she was the manager of the place, but she was very disrespectful to customers, to the patients. And sometimes I will step in and say, hey, come down, I'll take care of it, because she was, very disrespectful to them. And so I got concerned, and I brought it up to my boss, right? And I had noticed that three, because it was a large office, but four assistants actually, three had already left, and one was putting their 2 week notice on that day. So I went up to him and I told him, this is what's happening, and I don't think it's right. And, we have already lost, three assistants that had been with us for a long time. And I think you should have a talk with her. And he brings her in, and, I'm sitting there, she's sitting here, he's sitting in front of us. And then he tells me, well, she is a very good manager. You know, since she came here, we have a lot more people coming in, and we have a lot more money coming in. So what you're saying is that she's not working out, but for me, she is. So, if you have a problem with it, then I guess we're going to have to let you go. And I looked at him and I said,
What?
yeah, I said, are you kidding me? And he's like, well, we have to all get along. I said, how can you get along with someone like that? I said, you can't. He's like, well, then I guess we're going to have to let you go. I go, no, you don't have to let me go. I go, I'm quitting. That's okay. I go, but you know what? You're going to regret what you just did today, ignoring me. I don't mean firing me or letting me go. I mean ignoring what I'm trying to tell you. One day you will regret this decision. And I picked up my
Yeah.
stuff that was in like the middle of the day right after lunch. And I left. And one of my friends
Mm.
stayed behind. And he said that probably like 6 months after I left, he calls me and he's like, you won't believe what happened. You won't believe what happened. And I'm like, what happened? So and so got fired. She got kicked out. He even had to call the police to remove her from his office because she
What?
was going ballistic on him. Yes. I guess he started noticing that the patients weren't coming in. A lot of the patients were complaining about the way she was treating them. You see, before I was in the front too, so I will, you know,
You were buffering it.
I was buffering a lot of the stuff that was going on, and I was trying to put the patients, like, don't worry about it. I'll take care of you from now on. Never mind her, whatever. So I wouldn't let him see everything that was going on. I was the buffer, as you can say. But so after I left, they hired another receptionist, I guess, and that girl left too. Then they had to hire another one, And then so he started like to the point where he was pretty much left with just one of, we were like 10 or 15 um, workers, and he was left only with one of the ones that had been there for a while, and only because this guy worked with him, you know, my friend, he worked with him side by side. He hardly ever had to deal with this lady. But the
Oh,
patients, he had a lot of celebrity patients, and a lot of doctors stopped referring patients to him.
wow.
And you know, so his practice started going down, and it was in Hollywood, like kind of close to Beverly Hills, like
Mm,
borderline between. So it was a really nice practice, expensive and everything, and a lot of
right.
celebrities used to go there, and they stopped coming. And the doctors in the building, because it was a huge medical building, they stopped referring them to them because of what was happening. And so um, he called me probably like after my friend talked to me, probably like a few months after. He called me, and he called me to apologize for what
Wow.
he did and for not listening to me and everything. But a lot of these doctors, once they see money coming in, they think it's just because of that one person. They
Yeah.
don't understand that it takes a lot of people
It's the
to
whole
get to that.
group.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so his practice suffered a lot, and it's sad because you know people like that can make or break you either
Yeah.
way.
I think it's so sad that people only go by the money. I always say if you treat your employees well, give them some time off. One of the best jobs I ever had is they gave you one mental health day a month that you could take off and say I need a
That's
mental health day.
nice.
And I stayed at that job for years just because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And
There were.
it's true. Everybody needs a day off. But maybe it's not mental health. Maybe you're not feeling good, or maybe you need to go sit by the beach and just relax. But everybody needs. You can't just work, work, work. You can't.
Yeah, everybody needs to be treated with respect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but overall, I think you know communication is what gets us to a better place.
Yes.
You know, in anything we do, and even with our families, our children. You know, you were saying something about cutting off someone toxic in your life, right? I did
Mm-hmm.
that last year. Um,
Okay.
I cut that person off, and it saddens me because of who it is, right? But at the same time, I have noticed that I had been working on trying to keep a relationship, you know, a good relationship, working hard to make that person, you know, care for me the same way I do for her and everything. But I finally had that mental fog just went away, and I saw that person for who she really is.
Right.
And at that point, you know, it was so weird, Marlene, because I've always made excuses, right? For that person. I've always did. I always did, not anymore, but I always did make excuses for, oh, maybe because, you know, she suffered, or maybe because her mom died when she was little. Maybe that's why this person is like that with me, or maybe I did something that's why she doesn't love me or whatever. But at that point, when I saw what I saw, everything that I was making, using as an excuse for her behavior or her lack of love or her lack of attention or respect for me, all that went away. And I saw her for the person that she truly is. And at that point, I realized that no matter what I do, no matter how much I love her, how much I do for her, it will never ever be enough. And I will never get back the love that I was seeking from that person because it's not there.
Yep.
And once
Yep.
I did that, even though, like I said, it's someone very important to me that I shouldn't feel like this about because you're not supposed to. But even with that in mind, I feel so much better, so much lighter,
Yep.
so much more like relief. You
Yep.
know, it's like forget it. I I'm okay if we don't
Yeah.
talk again for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
That's fine with me.
Yeah. You feel like you're so free, and you're like,
Yes,
why didn't I do this years ago? Years ago.
because you weren't there yet.
I wasn't there yet.
Yeah, you have to be to the point, because I always, when I talk to you, when I hear you, it sounds a lot like me. For me, if I'm gonna cut someone off, I have to be ready for that, because I'm the type of person that I don't go back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't take you back. I don't. You will never be back to the that part of my heart that I used to have for you, or that respect that I had for you. So I'm not. I don't go back. Once I'm
Yep.
done, that's it. I'm done with you. Whether it's a friendship of a day, a year, 15 years, 50 years, it doesn't matter. But I have to get to that point. And it may take me years to get there, but
Yep.
eventually I will.
Yep.
Eh,
When I say I'm sick of somebody, that's not a good place to be. You shouldn't be
mhm.
sick of people.
Exactly. Especially
Yeah.
people you don't even live with.
Yeah.
Like, how bad is this relationship that you're sick of them and that you don't even, interact with them all like that? But some people do get you to that point, and I think that once you're there, and like I said, you and I, like, you remind me a lot of me, is that I give people a lot of opportunities, a lot of chances, a lot of passes, a lot of excuses for their behavior when I love them that much, right? But
Hmm.
once I say that's it, you know what? I'm done.
Yeah.
Once I say that to myself, that's it. And there has been people that I had a friend of 15 years that I cut off, and I have never talked to her again. And that was probably about 15 to 17 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it
When you get to that point, it's
mm,
like I can't do this anymore. Cause okay, I think for me, the reason why I didn't cut off this family member years ago is because I still was dealing with the issue of my father passing away. So I think I was too busy trying to heal myself than to worry about them and how they were treating me. But when got better, and now I'm at a place in my life where I'm okay with that, I started to look at other relationships and be like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
yeah, and to me,
It was like, was this going on all along? Like I'm looking at myself like, what? I was
what
taking all of
what just
this.
happened? What just happened? Well, for me, it took my father's sickness and dying to make me realize that.
Hmm.
It was the opposite. But once I did that, I was like, no, you lady, you're never going to change. And I'm never going to get what I should be getting from you and what I want to get from you. So, why am I here
Yeah.
trying? So that's when that just happened. It was just like, it was so, how can I put it? It was like this heavy weight in my heart that I didn't even know was there.
I know
It
exactly
got
what
lifted. It got like
you mean.
I could breathe again. If
For the
if you
first
understand.
time.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. I know
Yes. I
exactly
could
what you're
breathe
saying.
again and did not feel guilty about it.
Yep. I was
It
like, I've already given you too many chances, and of course, this is the time where they're begging. Oh, I'll change. I'll change. I'm just going through a lot of things, and here come the excuses and blah blah blah.
well, this person actually didn't beg. The only thing she said to one of my siblings was, "Oh, so she really meant what she said." Because I said the only reason why I continue to come here is because um, I need to know about my dad's, illness. Like I need to continue to be informed and help as much as I can. But the minute my father is gone,
Oh, I see.
That's the last time I'll come and or I'll talk to you. And I'm only here because of him, because I need to know what's going on. And so this person told one of my brothers, so she really did mean that. I said, because if it was you, the person that was sick and needed me, I will have to reconcile. I will have to think about it. And if it
Yeah.
was you, I don't think I would be here. So she
Yeah.
said that to my brother. So I guess she meant it when she said that, and I did.
Oh, it didn't. But see, that's the whole thing. Um, my whole thing is the reason why I had to cut them off is because one of my biggest pet peeves is when someone makes a decision for me without asking.
Hmm.
It was like they were just like, "Oh, Marlene will be there."
How do you know that?
Did you? I was like, "Did you ask me?" Like, it was like, well, and they were like, "You always say yes."
There
And
you
I had
go.
to start, and I had to start thinking about it, and be honest with myself. I do always say yes to them. She wasn't wrong in saying that, but when somebody's telling me what I'm going to do and saying you have to be there, that was the beginning of the end
And you started seeing this person for who
for
she or
who.
he truly is.
And they didn't apologize. They said, "Well, you're going to be there, aren't you? I already know you're going to be there, so there was no point to ask you."
Wow, what a disrespectful thing.
And they didn't apologize. I said, "When you said that, it hurt my feelings." And she said, "Well, you always say yes, so I don't understand. What's the big deal?"
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and things like that are the things that make you, the support the decision that you have made at that particular point in your life, because you know that you have made the right decision by removing these people. Because I always tell people that when it comes to family members, you have no choice in that matter. They're your family members. You were born into that family, but you can choose who you will pick to be around you, who
Exactly.
you can have a nice relationship with. That you can pick. You don't, not because it's your family member. You have to have them in your life as you're an adult. You can choose to say no.
Yeah.
I'm done with this.
Yeah.
You have no choice as the fact that they are your family members, but you can choose to distance yourself from them.
Hmm. And guess what? And the funny part about that, and they said, yes, she says yes, but the only reason why I say yes to them is because of a situation similar to yours, where I only say yes all the time because I want to see another family member who lives in her house.
Mm-hmm.
So I only say yes so I can go over there and see who I really want to see. We
Mm-hmm.
never have had that kind of relationship where we're so close and all of these things. I only care because it's a certain individual which we were raised almost like sisters, that
Mm-hmm.
I want to see them, and I know I can't be like not talking to you and show up and hang out, there with her. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm. But the
that's
fact that they didn't even that person didn't even apologize, and the same
no,
thing happened to me, and that
yeah,
person said, "I have nothing to apologize you to you for,"
yeah,
and I was like, "Okay, that's okay. If that's the way you feel, you're gonna be stubborn about it. Then remember, I'm the last of six, and if we go about stubbornness, I will win an Olympic contest. I will win gold because I am very stubborn when it comes to the right things."
yeah. Well, I am too. I think it's the nature of being the last child. I'm the last of 10, so I can
Eh,
wait all day. I was like, people think they can outweight me. I'd be like, I will wait for 17 years. I was like, I can
my
wait.
my eldest sister, which is my mom in this case, she is my mom. She raised me.
Hmm.
She wanted me to eat the yolk of the egg, and I don't like it. I have like, ugh, I don't like it. It makes me gag. It makes me want to throw up. So I just like the white part of the egg. And my sister will tell me, "You're not gonna get out of this table. You're not gonna get up. You're not gonna go anywhere until you finish the egg." And I will tell her, "Well, then I'll be here all day and
Mm-hmm.
all night and all month." And at the end, my sister had to give up. Okay, fine, go to sleep. She would leave me on that table all day
Yep. I've done it too.
because I didn't want it.
Yep.
So my sister tells him, "No, no, she's stubborn. If she says
Yeah.
no, there's no way. She's like a mountain. You cannot move her."
I I think it's the last child syndrome.
Probably. But at the same time, even though we're the last, we know how to be respectful. We
Hmm.
know how to be all those things. So people think that, especially brothers and sisters, sometimes think that because we're the last ones, they can do whatever they want to us or with us, and that's not right.
Yeah, and I feel like this needs to die. This needs to die. Where people always say the last children are spoiled. I
Oh, we
was
are.
not spoiled. I actually, being the 10th child, I used to take care of my parents and other siblings and take care of everybody's kids. I'm like, how does that make me spoiled? And that's what they would always say. You're spoiled.
No,
I
I
was like,
was.
how am I spoiled?
No, I was. All of my sisters, like I only have two, right? My two sisters, they're really great cooks. Okay. They're really good homemakers. I'm not. I'm spoiled. I don't know how to cook. I mean, basic stuff, yeah. But I'm not Betty Crocker. I don't know how to do any of those things, my things, because I guess because my mom left, I'm not sure. I think my sister was like this even when my mom was there. But
Oh wow.
they spoil me. They'll do my laundry and they'll clean the house. I had to do nothing. I
I
was really,
definitely
really
didn't get
spoiled.
that. Mm-mm.
So when
I
things
did.
don't get done here,
I did everybody's stuff.
so when things don't get done here at home, I always tell them, "I'm sorry. I'm the last of six. I was spoiled." They will do
That's
everything
your
for me.
scapegoat.
That's my scapegoat. And the kids are like, "Mom, we're your kids. That doesn't work here, Mom."
I
But
don't
no,
know.
I didn't.
I think now I'm to the point where I'm going in the opposite direction because I've my whole life I've been helping everybody, and now I'm to the point where I don't feel like doing anything. I'm
It's you
like,
time. No, it's your
yeah,
time.
I'm like, you do it. You know,
Hmm.
like I love my family and everything, but you get burned out. Like my whole life, I've been helping everybody with their kids, raising their kids. I took care of both of my parents till they passed away. You know, I actually am taking care of another child now too, and it's like, when am I gonna get a break?
Yeah, the only thing with my siblings, I think it was funny because my sister is the eldest of six, right? But whenever something will go down, and to this day they still do it, they'll come down and they tell me, "What do you think? Do you think it's the right thing to do? Or do you think maybe we should do it?" And I'm
Yes.
like, "Shouldn't we be asking you that? Why are you guys asking me?" "Oh, well, because
Yeah.
you're always the one that is really wise and you can guide us the right way." And I'm like, "You should be the wise one because you're the older one. You're the eldest
Nope.
and you're
It's the
older
same
than
in
me."
my
So
case. It's the same in my case. Everybody asks me for advice all day long, all day long, all the older ones. And I'm like, why should I tell you for? You're not going to listen anyways.
well, no, my siblings do, but there's one brother that no matter what, he'll come to you and you'll tell him, "Well, if I was you, I would do A, B, C, and maybe D. I wouldn't go the same way." Well, he'll go the way that he was asking you if it was the right way for him to do certain things. So I'm like, "So why are you wasting my time?
Yeah, exactly.
If
Well,
you're
and
gonna
that's
do what you want, then why ask me?"
and I say that all the time. Don't bother to ask people for advice if you're really not going to want to take it. Like people will ask for advice all the time, even in what I do for my business. Oh, do you think I should do this, this, or this? And I'll tell them the second one, and say, oh, but I really want to do the first one.
Then
I'm
why
like, why did
ask
you just
me?
waste 30 minutes of my time?
But maybe because they can, even though it's their idea, whatever the communication is the communication gates are open with you. And that's, I think that's probably why they like to do that. They like to come and tell you all these things, because you listen. You can give them advice, even though they probably already knew they were going to do it their way, but they just want to listen to a different idea, a different way of, or reassure themselves that, okay, no, my way is better.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
communication is good, so that's why they probably come to us.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. So, any final words, Nexie?
Just make sure that that communication at home, everything starts at home. So to have you know kids or family members that you want to go out in the world and have the ability to problem solve, communication is key, and it starts at home. That's it.
Very wise. Thank you so much for coming up.
Thank you for having me, Marlene. Bye, chat. Okay,
Bye.
Marlene, I
Always
have
a
to let you
pleasure.
go. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Yes, everyone. Thank you so much, Nexie, for coming up, and also everybody in the chat for participating today. Thanks, James, for hanging in there, listening. Everybody who came in, thank you so much, everyone, for your support. I always enjoy the motivator support on Fridays. Every Friday, you all are welcome to come up to chit chat with me and anyone who needs some support. We never know what we're really going to talk about, but I look forward to Fridays. I do a little bit of a topic, a little bit of a chit chat, a little bit of an open panel. So thank you all so much for your support. As always, I'm Marlene Motivates. I am the content creator, and on this channel, I speak about positivity, information, life lessons, and so many other things, mindset shifting. And I would love for you to join my channel membership this coming, no, next coming week. I think next Thursday, I'm going to do a members only live stream, and we're going to get into something very important. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it, members. And to everybody else, I will see you guys on no, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I think it's a podcast that will be premiering at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, and another premiere on Sunday at 8 p.m. And all of it is one of it is for members, one of it is a podcast. So tune in Saturday and Sunday. So I guess you guys will be seeing me 7 days this week. Thank you all so much for your support, and I will see you guys on the next one. And like I always say, just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Forgive me, I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you? I forgive me, I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you? Ooh, hey, yeah.